So I'm out there and I give the throw over sign, whatever it was, thumb or whatever the heck it was. And Lester goes, and
Did you do that?
I'm like, throw over. And he's like, and I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it, fastball in. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
The next day, Lackey's pitching. They throw over, and John's like, Lackey's like, mm-mm. And I'm like, hey, they're calling it. He's like, mm-mm. So after the inning, I'm like, dude, the second time, we're like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, just so you know, we don't throw over. So if they call it, just act like you don't see it. Both of them. I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, just act like you didn't see it. Just we don't throw over. And this is before the whole thing came up with John.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, I can't throw to first, but don't tell anybody. And I was like, okay. Like, I'm not telling anybody. But it was just the weirdest thing is they're both like, mm-mm, just act like you don't see it. If they give the sign, just be like, oh, look, there's a plane overhead.
Well, so we had the backstory to that is we had a deal, was it the year before? Because Torrey was there in 13, and they would call throwovers all the time. And Lack finally just got fed up. He's like, can you guys just let me pitch? And so that's kind of where it came up, whereas like it was, every 3 pitches he was thrown over to first base because they were like, oh, we got their signs, we know they're running or something. And so like that's kind of how it started. And then Lack in spring training, it's probably more of like, hey man, just let me pitch type thing, quit calling all these throwovers. But yeah, I mean that's kind of where it all started was in 13. They called it so much that guys just got kind of tired of doing it.
Now, when you fast forward, what were the conversations like when teams were trying to make it a whole thing and probably to an extent, just like we talked earlier with the chicken and beer, the media has something new to talk about and they're all over it.
Yeah, I mean, like I told people all the time, man, like if I knew what was going on or how to fix it, don't you think I would have fixed it, right? Like you think I like looking over, especially being left-handed, you think I like looking over there and seeing the guy 20 feet off the bag? Like that's not fun for me either, So, I think the best part about it, man, Joe and Davey Martinez handled it, and so did Chris Bosio. We talk about it. We talk about ways to combat it. We talk about different things I could do. It's not like I didn't work on it. People think that I just, you don't work on it, that's why you don't do it. I mean, spring training, you can ask Chris Bosio how many times in the backfield at, stretches at 9 o'clock, at 7:45, 8 o'clock, we were out there working before anybody was there. So it's not a matter of work or anything like that. Like I said, if I knew how to fix it, trust me, I would have done it a long time ago and not even worried about it. But we just tried to come up with ways to combat it. And, kind of the funny part about the whole thing is it ended up screwing a few teams because they were so worried about it and what they wanted to do. Rossi picked a couple guys off, back picked them. Threw some guys out. I know 15, the stolen bases got a little out of hand, but after that, I think if you look at the numbers, they were pretty comparable to a lot of people in the league. Having a guy that can catch and throw like Rossi and then going from him to Wilson Contreras, who's got a stupid arm and very athletic back there and back picking and not scared to throw the ball anywhere on the field, really helped me. Like I said, if you look at like what the Dodgers tried to do against me in the NLCS in both those games, they ended up kind of getting out of their own game and in their own head on the whole thing. And then, I had a couple teams come in that the first time through the lineup, they were told they had to try to bunt at least twice. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it was the Diamondbacks. I got Paul Goldschmidt trying to lay down a bunt. Like, please.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go for it, dude. Like now you're 0-1 as opposed to if you were up there, maybe you hit a homer on the swing instead of trying to bunt. So, like I said, man, I just tried to turn a negative into a positive and just forget about it really. And then we got a couple picks and, guys started shortening their leads and it became, now with the pitch clock, I don't think I could have done some of the things that I did with as far as holding the ball and stepping off and varying my looks, slide step, leg kick, that sort of thing. And I just tried to get better at things that I could control as opposed to something that I couldn't control and don't know why or where it came from. And it is what it was. And then kind of just tried to make, like I said, make a positive out of something that hindered me at one time.